If an electric fireplace isn't quite the aesthetic you were looking for, but you'd still like a cleaner solution to a traditional fireplace, then a gas fireplace insert might be for you. Dalton Hicks from Rabe Hardware is still with us to talk about gas fireplace features and options. And Dalton, what are the first steps in terms of converting the traditional fireplace hearth into a gas fireplace?
Yeah, so the first step really is getting somebody out there to measure it. It's no good when a customer comes up to the showroom, falls in love with something, and then I have to be the bearer of bad news and tell them it doesn't fit. So number one is definitely getting somebody out there to look at it, see where the gas is going to come from in the house, the electrical, just making sure that all those steps are, we can get gas to the firebox or we can get electrical there and go from there.
Okay, so we're good. Planning ahead. Now take us through the installation process.
So essentially we have to get a liner down the chimney. So we'll have an intake and exhaust coming down the chimney. We got to get gas from some point in the house up through the firebox. And then, once you get all that ran, essentially we connect it in the back side and slide the thing in and away you go.
All right. What are some of your favorite parts or qualities of a gas fireplace insert, and maybe what your customers say about it?
Just the log sets anymore are way more realistic, so it does kind of feel like a wood fireplace in there. You can turn the heat down to a low if you're really not looking, you just want the ambiance, and then you can really ramp it up too. There's blowers, everything's run off a remote anymore. Sit in your easy chair and hit the button, and you got a fire.
So everything off the remote, not the switch on the wall?
No, we don't really do any switches on the wall anymore. Everything's a remote. The blower speed, the heat, all the lights, everything is ran off the remote now.
Dalton, how about on Powerhouse, we often talk about a DIY, do it yourself, but is this one to leave to the professionals?
Yeah, this is definitely one to leave to professionals. Just the safety of getting your gas line there, your electrical there, the venting coming down and getting that all sealed off properly. It's, there's some things that you can do it yourself, but I would probably leave the insert to a professional.
Yeah, safety first, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Always there. Let's talk, you mentioned a few things. Let's talk about the options that come with the gas fireplace insert.
Yeah, so number one is there's 3 or 4 different colors of log sets, birch, spruce, oak, all kinds of stuff. Different fronts, different colors. There's blower. So, the heat all comes out on the top side here now when you turn the blower up, and it'll blast it throughout the room.
And again, so it's not just the look, but it's also a heat source.
Yep, absolutely. Like this one is 40,000 BTUs, which is about half of a furnace in your house. So.
Okay, so efficiency. Talk to us about efficiency with a gas fireplace insert.
Yeah, so they range usually 70-75% efficient, which your furnace would be. The new stuff is 95 to 99% efficient. So it's definitely not as efficient, but at the same time, you're not trying to do the whole house. You're doing a room, you're kind of trying to bump the heat up quick in a room or something like that.
And let's talk about the options there for, distributing. I've got my gas fireplace insert distributing that heat throughout the room.
Yep, the blower on it, like I said, it comes out the top here, and it'll blast the heat throughout the room. You'll have 5 or 6 steps for the blower, so if you just want it barely blowing out, or if you want it really blasting to try to get it all the way to the back of the room.
Well, I'm smiling because it's on as we sit here.
Yeah, and this is turned on as low as possible right now, and it's definitely putting out some heat.
It does put out some heat, but again, keep in mind that efficiency, it can heat a room, but that's not...
Yeah, you don't want to use it for the whole house necessarily, because you're definitely better off to continue running your furnace.
We've mentioned a lot of options, and again, when you think about ballpark, if you can, for us, Dalton, purchasing something like this and then the installation, and again, I know that can vary, but just give us a ballpark.
Again, it all depends on the options and colors and everything that you do and the size of the fireplace, but I would say anywhere from $6,500 up to for some of the wild colors and stuff, you could probably spend 10 grand on one. And some of it's how hard the gas is to, how far do we got to go and stuff like that.
Every situation can be different.
Yep. I would say average, you're probably closer to 75 to 8 for most of them we install, but some of the lower end stuff is definitely that 65 range.
Sure. And again, I like the idea, but plan ahead, think about it.
Yes.
What's your space?
Yep, what's the size, we have to measure the width and height and depth and everything of the firebox and make sure that we can actually get something in there.
Dalton, thanks for sharing your vision with us, and for efficiency tips and outfitting your powerhouse, visit our website at powerhousetv.com.